I love the look on your face at the beginning of every podcast. Welcome back to the Joyful Life with KJ podcast with Bonnie Clapp. Oh, I got it right that time. I pointed right. Hey, Bonnie, how are you today?
Oh, yeah. Hi.
You're such, you give such a spirit of joy this morning. Such an overwhelming.
Hello. How are you?
That just sentiment just wore her out so much. She's done. That's the whole
Oh,
podcast.
God.
Thanks for joining.
Great podcast. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, Bonnie. I'm going to meet Bonnie very soon. And I seriously cannot wait. We are going to have so much fun making fun of each other for a week. Do you realize just that's what we're going to do? In the best possible. No, look at her looking all sad. She already has plans on how she's going to make fun of me. She's probably writing skits.
I have called the manager of every regional grocery store in that area of Maine and told them, on penalty of death, do not put yellow squash out in your produce section the entire week in July because we cannot have any available. I've only got to call one more chain and then it's all done. Into emotion.
Oh, I'm going to get it from my CSA. So I'm just kidding. I didn't even get a CSA this year, so I'm not going to get it from a CSA. Oh, my word. So last week we talked about the benefit to both us and others of women supporting women. And I think that was some really good convo. So today we're going to talk a little bit deeper about that, but we're going to tell you a little bit about our tribe. And maybe if we can get somebody, maybe one of our tribe might join us for an upcoming podcast. So we call the Shrinking Sisters. That name came, I don't even know how. I don't even know who picked that name or where it came from. But when I first started doing videos, there was this core group of ladies who commented on every single video. Like, I recognized their names every time. They were always there. They were always either there making fun of me. Nobody in particular. Just Bonnie. But they were there encouraging me, supporting, laughing together. And one day, one of them, I think it was Tracy Allen, created a Marco Polo. And I wasn't even part of it for a while. It was a few of the ladies. And I don't know, were you in it before me, Bonnie?
No.
So I dug you into this. I pulled you in.
Hook, line, and sinker, lady. Yeah.
She created a Marco Polo group, and she called it the Shrinking Sisters because we had a Facebook page or something, maybe.
I think it's a pun on that old book and movie, The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. And it was a Sisterhood of the Shrinking Pants.
You're
and
right.
It became just the Shrinking Sisters.
You're right.
Evolution things that just kind of happened.
That's right. I'd forgotten. That was one of my favorite movies of all time. Did you watch that movie? You were frozen for a minute. And
well,
so I said,
you were like, that was one of my favorites.
Oh, that's so funny. On my end, I said,
like,
that was one of my favorite movies ever. Did you like that? And you went, and I thought you were just staring at me like, are you serious right now?
No, I did. Well, I read the books first because I can read.
I didn't even know there were books.
Yeah, there's a series of books. I like the books better because I'm a book snob. But yes, I did enjoy the movies as well.
I love that movie. And
so if you haven't seen that movie, go ahead and watch it because it's got Alexis Bledel from Gilmore Girls in it. So that's great.
Yeah.
And it's one of Blake Lively's first roles too.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And America Ferrera from Superstore and all that stuff is in there. And then who's the fourth one? I don't even know where the fourth one is now.
Yeah, I don't either. Great movie though. Great about and very relatable for us, I think, because we're a group of very different women with very different lives, and we've all come together. So this group was created, the Shrinking Sisters Marco Polo group, and there's 15 of us in this, and we're a very closed group. I no emails saying, can I be part of Shrinking Sisters? Because we're closed for business. Just kidding.
We can't take anymore. We're all
We're
too weird.
We're a secret society. So, not secret anymore.
Oh.
These women came together and it slowly grew to 15, and it has stayed at 15 now for 2 years anyway. And if you haven't used Marco Polo, it's basically it's like a chat app, but with video. So instead of messaging, you're sending a quick video, and you send a quick video. And then when somebody else comes in, they can watch all the videos. They just hit play and they all play in the order that they came in. And then when it's done, you can add a video, and you can not go on for 3 or 4 days and then go listen to them all, or you can stay on there all day and listen. It doesn't matter. And it's just when I first got on there, I was like, this is weird. I feel really weird recording myself and talking to these people that I didn't know that well at the time. I had just seen their names. I had really never seen any of their faces at all, other than their profile pic on Facebook. I hadn't seen them. So we got to know each other, and sometimes there's 15 messages in there in a day, which is a slow day. And some days there's 300 to 400 messages. I can spend 3 to 4 hours sometimes on Sunday food prepping with these women, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, all day long, like I'm right in the room. Mm-hmm. And just chit-chatting all Sunday while I'm food prepping. My husband will throw, I can always tell when I'm talking too much, because he's like, gets out his Bluetooth headphones for the TV, and he's over there with his headphones on. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing a lot of chatter, because I'll have one earbud in and all he can hear is me over here yammering. But it brings so much richness to my life, just having that friendship, especially post-COVID, when the world shut down and we were all very alone, and we were isolated a lot from our churches and our family and our friends. And there was connection there that was felt in person, because I was seeing their mannerisms. The only difference was, I couldn't smell their perfume. I was going to say their deodorant, and that came out wrong.
You're not related to Joe Biden at all, are you? I mean,
Lord have mercy.
Putting that out there.
That's the only difference, though, is they're not in the room for me to hug.
Oh,
I can't.
Okay, we're talking about the women again. Okay.
Oh my word.
All right. So yes, we're not in person, but we might as well be in person.
We might as well be. It feels like you're in person minus the hug. And the hug is a missing piece, but that's okay. We can survive. But we're from all part. I mean, we have people from Missouri, Iowa, Indiana, Ohio, Florida, South Carolina, Tennessee,
Michigan,
Maine, New York.
I don't know.
Did I get everything?
I think that's everything.
Because there's a couple in Michigan, a couple in Tennessee, a couple in Missouri. Is Dawn in Missouri? Dawn is in Missouri, right? With Molly.
Yeah.
They're in the same state. Yeah. So we are all different walks of life. We all have, the one thing we all have very much in common is our love of Jesus. We're all believers, and we all fiercely love our Savior. And we all fiercely love each other. These women are not acquaintances. They're not. They are my absolute best friends on this planet. They are my sisters. They are way more than friends. They are my sisters. So we have, at some point, we'll bring one or two on the podcast here and there and just, talk about our life together and just laugh.
I'm just curious to see who you're going to drag into this.
Oh, I don't know. We'll have to see. Everybody at some point, but it might take a while, right? 15 podcasts in a row. It won't be in a row.
Does Jen know she has to be on a podcast? I'm sorry. It wasn't my idea.
We have women who could get up and stand in front of a room of women and talk without issue. And then we have women who are like this when they're on camera, like very nervous and shy. Like, I'm here, just don't look that much at me. We have very quiet women. We have women who talk so fast you can't speed up the Marco Polo because you won't understand them. And then we have women that we have to speed up because they talk so much slower than the rest of the people. Just so good morning. I have so often said that when I finally get to meet all these people in person, because my life is just busy right now and I have to listen to Marco Polo on higher speed, that when I get in person with these people, I'm going to be like, can you talk a little faster?
The tea time speed button. You're not going enough. Your voice
Why are you
like
talking so slow? Why are you talking like that? Because I'm used to listening to these people on 2 times their normal speed. Which, if
I'm
you just have never
interested
done
to
that.
see what Shirley Moore's laugh sounds like in real life as opposed to on 2 times speed, because I'm sure it's a lot deeper, richer, and slower than I actually. I love her. She can laugh at anything. She brings so much joy to my day.
Seriously. So that's a good example. We have people like Shirley Moore, who Shirley Moore is, her gift is speaking words of encouragement, speaking life into people. When somebody is struggling, she will come on and be like, okay, KJ. And I know I'm in for it. And she will spew the love of God over me in a way that is challenges me, encourages me, supports me. The other thing I love, I have been reprimanded is not the right word, but challenged, or when I've said something or felt a certain way, somebody will come on and say, now, KJ, I want you to think about it this way. They'll flat out tell me, you're overthinking that. You're stressing about something you don't need to stress about. They will call me to
correction, but that's
yes.
They know they're in a safe place and they can express that, and it'll be well received.
Yes. That is the thing I love about our group. It is not just a bunch of women talking about nonsense. It is about deep relationships. It is about loving correction. It is about encouragement. It is about edification. It is about all of those things, loving one another, truly loving and wanting the best for one another. And Bonnie and I were talking about this earlier, verses that really explain the shrinking sisters. And I mean, I'm sure a lot of you have heard this verse before, but Titus 2:4 or 2:3 says, likewise, teach the older women to be reverent in the way they live, not to be slanderers or addicted to much wine, but teach what is good. Are we the older women? I don't think so. We'll leave that to, I don't know, somebody else in the group. I ain't going to name no names. I'll get some hate mail.
I don't view any of us as old. That's the thing. I know that we span at least 20 years between the youngest and the oldest, maybe a little more. We don't feel it, though. That's the beauty of it, because there's something to be learned from those with life experience, and there's something to be cherished from those who are still in the stage of littles.
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. We have moms in our group with just barely 1-year-olds. We have moms with 4 and 5-year-olds, with 11 and 12-year-olds. We have teens. We have moms we have women who are not moms. We have women who are moms that have experienced loss. We have moms who are empty nesters now. And we have widows and people who are learning life on their own. We have a wide array of women, and I have so much to learn from each and every one of them. Yeah. Each and every one, they have enriched my life in a way I get goosebumps just talking about it, because these women have literally changed my life. And when I talk about Marco Polo on my group coaching and say, listen, you have access to this, I'm telling you right now, I promise you that if you participate with a group of women like this, it will change your life. I have absolutely no problem guaranteeing you that it will change your life for the better. That is the impact that this group has had on me. We have one of the things that we do is a group. We touched on it last week when a mom or one of our ladies is going through a tough time, whether we had sweet Donna, this is where this started, lost her husband, and it was obviously devastating, very unexpected. And if every one of us could have jumped on a plane right then and been at her doorstep, 100% guaranteed we would have been. Yeah. But what we did, we came together and we created a big fluffy red blanket that says something, I don't remember, but it has all of our names all over it and said, wrap yourself up in this. And it's exactly what she did. And it was a giant hug from each and every one of us. And then there's been other moms that have gone through, you've gotten one of the blankets after your surgery. And we've just given we gave one to Karen after the loss of her sweet pup, her little, she's a widow, and she had, what was his name?
Tater.
That's right. Cause she called him Tater cause she's Southern. Little Tater. When she lost little sweet Tater, it was heartbreaking to her because he was what? 39 years old or something, that dog. He was older than the hills.
Well, she's a grandmother and she's active in her children's and grandchildren's life, but he was her housemate and he was her person after Walter passed away. And then she lost Tater too. And it was a big adjustment to be all alone in the house by herself.
And I wanted so bad to just get on a plane and go down to Karen's house and sit on the porch with a cup of coffee and just sit and just chit chat. But we couldn't, it's not always feasible. So we sent her a blanket and she snuggled right up in bed with it and just cried because it felt like a big hug from all of us. And I'm telling you, I've met one of these ladies. Nope, two. I met Molly for like 3.5 minutes. She came to visit Maine. And so I was able to give her a big hug and that was really cool. But I didn't spend a full week with Shirley, but I spent a week in South Carolina and spent 3 or 4 days with Shirley and got to know her really well. And just, the funny thing is, when Shirley knocked on the door at the beach house that we were at, and I opened the door and gave her a big hug, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad to meet you. It was, oh my gosh, I'm so glad to hug you, because I knew her. Yeah. And I knew her well. I knew all her dogs. I knew her kids. I knew their struggles. I knew the happy things going on in her day. I knew the hard things going on in her day. I know Shirley, but I had never hugged her. So, man, it was awesome. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do this July when a large group, not all of the Thrinking Fifthers. I can't talk. The Thrinking Fifthers are going to get together. It's going to be those that admin for my coaching business, and some of the Shrinking Sisters are coming to the retreat. We're going, 3 of them at least are coming outside of the admins. And we're going to get to spend a few days together, and it's going to be just, I'm giddy. Like, I don't care what else happens in my year. That is I'm just so excited for that. It is going to be so amazing. And well, why don't you tell me a little bit? I've been talking for a while. This may be a little bit longer than a 20-minute podcast because KJ gets a little passionate about her tribe. So you go ahead and tell me what the tribe means to you. And then I'll tell you one other thing that I feel if I can remember at that point.
They're nice.
Yeah, they're all right.
So you and I had already been terrorizing each other on the internet back and forth for a while. And I reached out to you and I said, I'm having a really hard time because I'm introverted and I'm overwhelmed and I'm just at a low place emotionally. And you said, let me invite you in to this Marco Polo group. And I was like, what's Marco Polo? And you're like, it's an easy to use app. It's fine. And just come on in and try this. And I came on in and I tried it. And here I am. And now my kids know who it is from across the room without even looking. And And they're like, oh, that's so-and-so. Oh, mom's listening to Polos. Oh, what did they just say? Mom, don't be such a smart aleck back to them. Hey, be nice to them, Mom. Or they'll be like, oh, look, it's Sylvie. I love Sylvie's curls, because Molly has sweet little Sylvie girl. Yeah, it's a daily occurrence in my life now. And I've been so busy this week locally, in this particular week, that I've been remiss to be on the Marco Polo, and I miss it. Like, I want so bad to get on there like 3 a.m. and spend an hour on 3-speed just catching up on everybody's everything and be like, I'm still here. Because it is such a part of my life, and it is a community, and those women mean so much to me. And it's drastically changed me from being just a little enclosed introvert, not letting myself be with anybody, to here I am, smart ass that I am all the time. And these people are valuable to me, and they still accept me, even though I'm not always the greatest. And it's just wonderful. So yeah, it's made a big difference in my life, and I think in my kids' lives too, because Marco Polo is how my daughter met Mary Malone. And we were playing a game in the car the other day on the way home from volleyball practice. I took her and 3 of her friends back and forth. And one of the kids said, who's your favorite person in the whole world? And Lucy looks at me sideways, and I was like, who is your favorite person in the whole world? And she's like, Cousin Mary.
Cousin Mary?
Well, we figured out, because Mary Malone is marvelous, and she does have knowledge a mile wide and an inch deep about everything, that anybody who has the last name, and it's gone from my brain because it's on my husband's side of the family and not on mine, Culkins, like Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone. Anybody who has a derivative of that spelling is actually related to the same family lines. And so she's related to Culkins, and we're also related to Culkins. So my kids call her Cousin Mary. Isn't that the best thing ever? Lucy's like,
Cousin Mary removed 78 times.
I know. My favorite person in the whole world. I'm like, yeah, I know. So it's one of the things that Lucy's looking so forward to, because she gets the privilege of coming with when we go to Maine this summer. She's like, oh, I get to spend time with Mary Malone, because she legit is her favorite person in the whole world. She didn't hear
Has
about
she
you.
said KJ at all? I can't wait to meet KJ.
Whatever.
What? Tell her I'm canceling that airplane ticket.
She doesn't like the way that you cook. She gets stressed out. I don't know where she gets it from with your disorganization. I have no idea who she inherited that little quirk from. No clue. She's like, what's she doing? Why didn't she have an apron on? Is that thing clean? What's she putting in there now? Did she measure that? Oh my God. And I'm like, she could probably take over as heckling you, and it would be seamless. I mean, she's on it, man.
That's awesome. I can't wait to meet that kid. Our girls together will have a great time.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
they will.
I'm looking forward to that.
I know they will. For me, one of the big things about the Shrinking Sisters that has very much been, I'm reminded of it frequently, for just one way or the other, but how much we're alike and how much we're different at the same time. There are women in our group that I otherwise would have never met, first of all, because we're not from anywhere local. The chances of us meeting is slim to none. But even if we were in the same town, we all go to different types of churches. Some of us go to Baptist, Lutheran. We're all Christians, but we go to different types of churches. We have different types of, some of us are homeschooled. Some of us go to public schools. Some of us, we don't run in the same groups necessarily. And like Faith, for example, I flippin' adore Faith. That woman makes me laugh every single day. Okay. Faith is a little older than me. What is Faith? I don't even want to guess. She's 50s, late 50s.
29, and that's all we're gonna do.
She's 29. We're separated in years. She works in education. That would be the last thing that I would ever work in. She, she's in New York. I don't want to ever go to New York. That's just not my favorite place in the world. We are very much from different walks of life. Even if I lived in New York, Faith and I probably wouldn't be in the same circles. Even if I lived there, would we have been picked up and have been as close as we are? Probably not, just because we wouldn't have given that relationship an opportunity. But through Marco Polo, I absolutely flippin' adore that woman. I love her.
It's almost like there was somebody who orchestrated this big thing and made it happen, made it come together.
Who could that
through
be?
some kind of a supernatural means, and it wouldn't have occurred otherwise. I'll place it in a minute.
It was Harry Potter. That's what it was. It was Harry Potter.
Oh, you're gonna make people mad, girl.
I don't watch Harry Potter.
Oh Lord!
Oh
And
my
see,
word.
I can love you through that sin. It's fine.
See?
It's
See? Totally different walks of life.
It's so true. But then, like, if my day is going sideways, I can know with full confidence that at least one person in the world, Faith Sharp, has prayed a blessing for me.
Oh,
That
yeah.
her prayer, oh my gosh, that woman is so strong.
She's amazing.
Love her. And you're right. I would have never crossed paths with her if it wasn't for Christ and THM and Marco Polo and him shoving you out of your comfort zone and making you do this day thing.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, what a blessing. So I'll see if I can get a shrinking sister to join us next week. I have one particular in mind who is absolutely the most hilarious person I've ever met in my life, and yet the most reserved at the same time. Can you think of who I'm thinking of? Completely reserved and hysterical all at the same time. We'll see if she can join us maybe
Good
for
luck.
the next podcast. She'll probably say, what? No way.
We could have a bird watching episode and then she would be in on it. For sure. For sure.
Oh my gosh. All right, my friends. Well, this was a longer than normal podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're enjoying the Joyful Life with KJ podcast, please tell people about it. Please share it. Please get it out there. I want this podcast to grow because everybody needs to know Bonnie Clapp. That's all there is to it. Everybody does.
At some point, we do want to film a Q&A mailbag episode. So
yes.
If you want to maybe Facebook message some questions to KJ or just put them on the, if you're in Holy Healthy right now or the unofficial Joyful Life community, something like that. I don't want to make you have another email address that you have to attend to.
No, I actually have an email address. So
I'm not volunteering to attend to it.
If you want to email me at kj@joyfullifewithkj.com, easy to remember, kj@joyfullifewithkj.com, and just title it podcast question. Bonnie and I will do the mailbag and we will go through your questions and answer them to the best of our ability with all of our wisdom.
So we're not going to have a Q&A episode.
It's going to be real short. Oh, all right, my friends. We love you so much. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye.